Hey, I came up with this idea to improve my reading skills because I have a speech impediment and I'm a little bit dyslexic, but who cares, right? But yeah, big inspo to Big Jamie because this is really going to help me. It should. I hope it helps me. Just know I have to do so many retakes and voiceovers over and over because I always mess up. And I also know how to play Minecraft a little bit, but this will help me expand my experience in Minecraft because it's really little. But yeah, sorry for yapping so much, y'all. But let's get into the Reddit stories and hear what these Redditors have to say. I'm going to try to find somewhere where to settle at where I can like build and just keep building and keep adding on and trying new things. These are all going to be from Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for giving my daughter-in-law my wife's bakery? I'm 84 years old. I'm having my daughter type this for me as I'm terrible with computers, but I need someone outside's perspective on my situation. My wife Emma died a little over 2 years ago from breast cancer at the age of 79. Dang man, sorry for your loss. She had it when she was in her early 30s and went through chemotherapy and was diagnosed cancer-free the same year. Then when she was about 78 years old, she had gone to the doctor after feeling sick for a couple weeks. They found she had cancer again, and this time it had spread to a point that the doctors gave us a little less than a year without chemotherapy and possibly 2 or so years with it. But they made it clear she wouldn't be getting better. Emily didn't want to go through chemo again, and instead we spent what time she had left traveling while she was still well enough to do so. And as she started getting worse, we spent it with our grandchildren and kids. After she passed, I didn't know what to do with her bakery. She had left it to me to decide, and I couldn't sell it. It had meant a lot to her and had many memories attached to it. I was still grieving though, and it ended up sitting there about 2 years. About 6 months ago, I was going over my will as I'm getting up there, and I want to get things ready for when I do inevitably pass. He's just fine being dramatic, the daughter typed that for him. While going over the will, I knew I needed to either sell my late wife's bakery or give it to one of my kids. I was originally planning to give it to my daughter, but when I had asked if she was interested in it, she told me she didn't like baking much and was no good at it either. I can barely make pasta. It's the daughter typing again. She also told me her brother wasn't good at baking either, but that my daughter-in-law was an amazing baker, and Emily had taught her many of her own recipes. I remember Emily teaching Gracie, my daughter-in-law, her recipes every Saturday. Gracie is a wonderful girl, and I'm incredibly grateful for the help she gave during my wife's funeral and during her last couple months. Gracie would clean and bring over soups and things Emily could enjoy while not upsetting her stomach too much. I had originally thought of Gracie because I had assumed she wouldn't be interested. Gracie is a nurse and works long hours. I assumed she enjoyed her work, which she does for most part, but after talking to her about it, she told me she had been thinking of a different career path. She said she enjoys her work, but that it was draining, and she realized she had recently missed a good part of her kids' lives so far due to her busy schedule. Instead of just letting the bakery sit there, I told Gracie she could go ahead and clean up the place and do what she needed to reopen it now if wanted. It's been 4 months since then, and Gracie has been renovating and fixing what needs to be fixed. The place looks wonderful so far and should be ready to open very soon. Can't agree, it looks amazing. That's the daughter again. My wife's sister found out that I was giving Gracie the bakery a few weeks ago and are now currently upset at me for not asking them if they wanted it or who should I give it to. I didn't think to ask them. It wasn't up to them, but some of my friends have said that I probably should have asked. They were my late wife's sisters, and the bakery probably meant something to them as well. So am I the asshole? I don't think you're the asshole. If they really wanted the bakery that bad, they would have hit you up before. It sounds like they never hit you up beforehand until you decided to give it to somebody. Then they cared after that, you know? So I think you're a good guy, man, honestly. Congratulations on making it to over 80, man. Proud of you. Am I the asshole for telling my wife to get a job if she wants to subsidize the kids? Up until our youngest kid graduated from university, I worked crazy hours out of town to pay for everything. I worked 6 weeks on 12 hours days. Then I would get 3 weeks off. That works out to 56 hours a week if you average it out. I've been doing that since I was 35 years old. It allowed my wife to stay at home and take care of the kids in the house. We also used it to pay off our mortgage as well as but new cars for cash whenever we need it. I'll describe our budget so you guys can judge. After taxes, we used to make my take home to pay the mortgage and the bills. We then paid into the kids' college funds, then into our retirement fund. Then we topped up our retirement account. We put money into our emergency fund. Then whatever was left, we split 50-50. Our tax refund was our vacation. Now I'm 55 and I'm tired. My body is beat and I need to slow down. Our kids are both through university. Both got their degrees and have jobs. I did my part. It sounds like he was doing his part as a father. I didn't have a father in my life, but that man sounds like a great father if you ask me. The company I work for had a job open for an office job. I applied and got it. Congratulations, man. It is a 9 to 5 city job, 40 hours a week, better hourly rate, plus other compensation. However, it is a lot less money without the overtime. I was getting 44 hours a week of overtime. That's huge. If I was in his shoes, I would probably just downsize my house so I can spend less money. But he did say he's paying mortgage though, so they built their own house and stuff. So that's kind of hard. I don't know too much information about that side yet. So yeah. But we have money in the bank, and I have an easy stretch until I retire. My wife, however, is upset. Both kids are struggling. For the record, they live at a home rent-free. That is crazy. How are you struggling rent-free? But they want cars and apartments of their own. They can't afford that. They just won't be getting luxury cars and huge apartments. We no longer have a mortgage, and my wife and I are both driving vehicles purchased in the last 3 years, still under warranty. Our budget no longer has education funds either. We still have more than we need, and my wife and I have $1,000 each month to spend however we want. I am saving up for a new garage/shop. My wife has been giving hers to the kids. She's hinting that I should also contribute. Giving $1,000 to your kids after they graduated college just to give them $1,000 is kind of wild if you ask me. If you ask me, the mom is not letting her kids grow up. Well, they're not even kids, they're adults now. She's not letting them spread their wings. Put it like that. That's the best way I can possibly put it. I think I have contributed enough. I told her to get a job. She's only 46. She can go to work and give them her salary. I still provide housing and food for all of them, so she won't starve or anything. Her and the kids think that I'm being cruel, and one of the little craps said I was being lazy by cutting my hours so much. This is my hill to die on. I have done the hard work long enough. I want to enjoy my life. Am I the asshole for telling her to get a job and give them her money? No, bro. Like, sorry, but you're not the asshole here. Your wife is not the asshole. Just she's babying her kids. And for your kid to tell you that you're getting lazy because you're like 40 something and you've been working hard for them since they was kids is wild. Honestly, man, I don't know. It might be some bad parenting there between both of the parents when the kids was growing up during their teenage ages. That's like me being a level 900 in a game and then seeing a beginner and telling him, yo, you need to lock in and just lock in. And I have like 900 hours on a game and he has like an hour minimum. That's kind of crazy. Am I the asshole for making a mom pick up her daughter in the middle of the night from my kid's sleepover? This weekend, I had a small birthday party sleepover for my 8-year-old daughter and a couple of her friends. The night started completely normal. The girls had snacks, watched movies, and went to bed around 10:30. But around 1:30 a.m., one of them came into my room crying and woke me up. Single mom here, so there was no man in the room. Don't worry. She said she was scared and wanted her mom. While I was trying to calm her down, she told me this was her first time sleeping somewhere new, which was unbeknown to me and caught me off guard. I did my best to try to comfort her. I sat with her and got her a drink, but she kept crying and getting more worked up, repeating that she wanted to go home. I gave it some time, but it wasn't getting any better. So at this point, I felt like it wouldn't be right to force her to stay somewhere where she was clearly not happy. I called her mom and asked if she could come pick her up right there and then. Her mom came, but she seemed annoyed. The next morning, she texted me saying she wished I had just waited until the morning because now her daughter is embarrassed and might not want to try sleepovers again. Where I'm frustrated is that I feel like I was put in a bad position and destined to fail from the start no matter what. I wasn't made aware that this was her first sleepover, and I don't think it's fair to use someone else's house, especially during their child's birthday party, as a guinea pig without giving a heads up. I'm not mad at the girl at all. I felt really bad for her, but I also don't think it was my job to handle that level of distress all night. But I'm wondering if I should have just stayed up with her a bit longer to see if she'd go back to sleep to try to push through until the morning as the mom said. If you ask me, I say you made the right call because the kid said they wanted to go home, and if you kept the kid, it could have really flipped into the wrong script, even though you was making a good decision both ways, you know. Both decisions are good though, but the kid wanted to go home and it was late night, even though the parent didn't even probably want to go pick their kid up. But hey, it is what it is. You made the right decision, man. Am I the asshole for cutting off my son after his mom passed away. I have been my son's dad since he was 1. He is 27 now. I was friends with his mom for years before she got pregnant and the bio dad took off. I was around helping her with stuff and one thing led to another and we got together. It wasn't really planned or anything, it just happened. Her and I cared for each other deeply, but it wasn't some huge romantic story. We were a partnership. We got married when Mark was 3 and I adopted him when he was 5. Tammy took care of Mark, me, and my house. I worked and paid for everything and it was a good life. I never wanted kids, but I loved Mark and gave him everything I could. Not just material goods. I was there for him growing up. I attended all his extracurricular activities that I could. I taught him how to ride a bike and how to change his oil. We took him on vacations. I made sure that when he graduated from university, he was debt free. He was always a good kid. University changed him. He became distant. He would call to talk to his mom, but not me. It turns out he met a girl who had been adopted and she had baggage she decided to share with him. He had contacted his biological father and I was being displaced. Mark was everything to Tammy and she supported him in everything. As his mom, I would expect no less, but it hurt to be cut out his life. When Tammy got sick, Mark and I would see each other when he came to see her, but we would barely talk. When she passed away, I saw him at the funeral and then only heard from him to settle her estate, which was not much. She had very small life insurance policy that she left Mark. Everything else was mine. Her bank account only had the money we budgeted for her. There wasn't much in it because she had been subsidizing Mark's life since he graduated. Like clockwork, every month I would deposit her share of our budget and most of it went to him. Tammy and I had a separate life insurance policy that we set up. It was more substantial than the other one. We originally set them up in case anything happened to us, the other would have money to live and take care of Mark. I was the beneficiary since I was paying for it. Now that his mom is gone and not helping pay his bills, Mark is calling me for help. I said no. I said he had the money from his mom's life insurance. Everything else is quite literally mine. Even the car she drove was leased by me. He is upset with me and said I obviously had never thought of him as a son if I was willing to do this. I told him to ask his bio dad for help since that's who he wanted in his life. His wife, Sarah, the girl from university, called me and said that I would be cut out of their lives and that I would never see my grandchildren. They don't have kids yet, but I suppose they are planning on a family. I told her that I was okay with that, and I am. I miss Tammy, but I'm okay. I have my dogs and my job. I see my sisters and their kids and grandkids. I'm involved in their lives. So am I the asshole for cutting off financial support to a full-grown man with a job and a wife? Honestly, you're not in the wrong. He's a grown man at the end of the day. He gotta handle it on his own. And plus, he only hits you up for money. I wouldn't want to give somebody money that only hits me up for money instead of like checking up on me time to time, you know? Am I the asshole for making my family feel uncomfortable until they leave my home since asking them and telling them won't work? No, I'm not going to have the cops called on my family. My family came to visit me in Orlando for spring break. We had discussed it and I was cool with it. However, the plan was for them to use my house only as a home base. They were supposed to purchase their own groceries, then leave to go to all the tourist stuff during the day so I could work from home. Then evenings they could make their supper and enjoy the pool. Then they could sleep and start over. My brother called me last Thursday to tell me that the plan changed. The tickets for everyone to everything was way too expensive and that they were wanting to just stay home for 5 of the 9 days. I said that they probably should get a hotel because I work from home, which he knows. He said they wouldn't be a bother. I said they would be and to get a hotel. He said that would cost more than the park tickets they were skipping. I told him I didn't care. I needed my house quiet during the week. He got my parents involved and they collectively guilted me into letting them stay. I'm aware that I'm weak, but I love my family. They showed up last Saturday and as I expected, they was nosy as hell. It didn't bug me since it was the weekend and I haven't seen my niece and nephew in forever. I had even arranged dinner that night at a pirate themed dinner theater. Sunday was more of the same. Kids screaming in the pool. I told my brother and his wife I would watch the kids so they could go to Publix or Whole Foods or whatever to get groceries. They came back with a couple of days of food. They said they would mostly eat out. Whatever, I don't have a full fridge or pantry. Monday was my work day. They didn't leave. I had to tell them repeatedly to be quiet. My brother said to relax, it was just a little noise. I asked if I could visit him at his office and make this much noise. He said it was different. Fine. Game on. I changed it to Speedos. I'm not Manscaped for those. It looks like I'm trying to smuggle a Pomeranian in my trunks. Just fur all the way around. And I joined them for my lunch break. My sister-in-law and niece noticed right away. It got really quiet. My brother came over to talk to me about appropriate swimwear around his family. I said it was my house and I would wear whatever I wanted. After lunch, I put on a dry pair and put on a towel on my work chair. If they made noise, I would come out in full glory and ask them to shush. They decided to go see Orlando. That night, my brother said I was being an ass. I told him that I had told them I was working and he couldn't control his kids and his wife. Tuesday, they went to Universal. They ate out for supper and were home late. Wednesday was going to be a home day and my brother asked me not to wear Speedos. I asked them if they were going to make noise. They decided to go see Cape Carnival. Wednesday was Disney. Thursday was a Speedo day. As is today, my folks are coming down for Easter tomorrow, and the 6 of them are going back to Disney. My brother's pissed that he isn't saving as much as he thought he would. I don't care. He was the one who changed the plan. So am I the asshole for making the family uncomfortable with my fur until they left me to work? Honestly, they didn't respect your space and you had to do what you had to do. But that's a funny way to do it. But yeah, if you're telling people that they can like quiet it down a little bit because you're working and they don't respect you in your own house, then you have to kind of put your foot down, especially if it's family that doesn't respect you. You gotta put your foot down, man. So I don't think you was an asshole, bro. I think you did the right thing. But Speedos, I don't know about that, man. Am I the asshole? I didn't let my coworker take my pen. This feels so petty and not that serious at all, but am I like in the wrong? I'm a CNA working in a nursing home. I just bought a pack of Sharpie pens. They're nice and have a built-in grip and write pretty smooth. I am poor and a 13 pack of pens is a splurge for me. I handed a pen to a coworker to put her name on something and walked away because a resident was trying to elope. I came back and a different coworker was over there and she had an identical pen in her hand. Mine was sitting on a counter about a foot away from her. I watched as she reached over, pocketed the one on the counter, mine, and continued writing with her own. I asked out loud where my pen was and she was silent. Then I asked her directly and she said it was hers. I impeded my pockets and showed her that I also have one pen in that style but different color and said it was mine. Again, these pens are expensive to me and I wanted mine back, lol. Should I have just let her have it? Like, she already has a pen. I only bring 2 pens to work and they're not like community pens on a nurse desk. You have to bring your own for context. Am I the asshole for remodeling my stepkids' room after their mom passed away since they weren't going to be living with me anyways? I have never been a legal guardian of my stepchildren. They have a father and had a mom. I was just their mom's husband. I never had a problem with this. Their biological father is a bit flaky, but his parents and him always made sure his child support was up to date and that all his custody time was spent with his family. The kids are always polite to me and I try my best to be an adult they could come to with their problems. My wife died last year. It was an illness that came out of nowhere and she was gone before we knew it. We had 2 young children of our own and now I was a single dad. My in-laws stepped up to help me with our children and hers. They established grandparents' rights and got visitation. Their dad got full custody. My 2 stepkids moved in with their parental grandparents since their dad lives in a bachelor loft. My house has 6 bedrooms since we finished the basement, so I could move my office down there. So the breakdown used to be us in the master suite, our kids in 1 bedroom, the stepkids each had a room. Then I had an office in a basement and a playroom that converted to a guest room when needed. Once the stepkids moved out, I started thinking about the future. I left everything alone for 3 months. I didn't want to rush into anything and I wanted them to be able to come home if they needed. They never did. I called their dad and asked him to please pick up all their stuff so I could clean up and paint the rooms. That whole side of the family went nuts. They accused me of trying to get rid of them and erase them from their home. I did not have any sort of legal rights over those kids. God forbid they get hurt or something. I can't legally make decisions for them. All I want is to have a room for each of my kids on the same floor as me and move in my office back upstairs. I offered to turn both basement rooms into guest rooms they could stay in if they wanted to stay over when they were visiting their half siblings. That wasn't accepted. I need to leave their rooms alone. I boxed up their stuff and put it in boxes downstairs. I painted the rooms. Each of the kids got their own room upstairs. Their dad still hasn't picked up their stuff, but has called me names for the things I did. I don't even know how he knows, since the stepkids have not been here since the funeral. Am I the asshole for prioritizing my children over my stepkids and remodeling my home to exclude them? Honestly, I don't think you're in the wrong, because by the way it sounded like you never gonna get to see them again because of the toxic dad they have. But yeah, honestly, I don't think you're in the wrong. I think you're just trying to like move on in a good way, not a bad way, you know. If you made it to the end, like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed. I'll make more, and of course I'll keep improving on this. And thank you for joining my journey. If this video blows up, that would be great. I'll be fired because I get to talk to some strangers on the internet, and some strangers get to hear me read. But yeah, thank you for watching, and have a good one.